is my direct manager, one of my favorite people in the business, guys. He's been somebody that I've looked up to since day one. He's like one of the first 3 people in the business that I met. And he has built a 7,000, I think 8 or like, I think it was 9 last month, like 9,000 family a month agency, guys, which is absolutely insane. So when you think about, we protect 1,500 sometimes a month, Grady does 9,000 families a month. So if there's anything about this business that you can learn, guys, it's from this guy right here. So Grady, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Fantastico. So I can't imagine that anybody would not know who you are. And I'm just humbled and honored. And thank you so much for getting on. Can you give us like the 1-minute rundown?
Well, first, thank you for the time. Thank you all to giving us your time to try to get better. This is a self-paced business, right? You know, getting up at 5 and exercising is a self-choice, right? You got to try to get better, try to get fit. Getting a call at 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night says, I want to change my life. I want a better future for myself and my family. So I applaud all of you and thank you. And thank you for having me on. And I will throw this in real quick and we'll see who takes advantage. But anybody who books their flight today, tomorrow, or Wednesday and makes the trek, even the girl who's afraid of flying, I will buy floor seats too. So we have exclusive floor seats at convention. They're $100 each. They go to the Dream Center. We don't charge like $1,000 for a private lunch with a guy who just trains on other things and selling insurance. We don't do any of that hoopla. We're kind of a very charitable organization on top of being very profitable. So anyone in that realm of people who go, you know what, I'm terrified of going, or I'm not sure if I want to go, we'll sponsor you in. $300 seats will cover so you can sit on the floor with the rest of us. So send Marissa an email and let me know. I will happily take care of your floor seats so you can enjoy the convention front and center. So, I mean, the 36-second, because I want to get to the good stuff, is I did network marketing, didn't make any money. I built a software business, didn't make any money. And, you know, you're on the end of your rope. With a wife and 2 kids, and you go, what else could I do? And I was blessed to run into a guy named Andrew Taylor who said, hey, we buy leads and we go protect families that requested coverage. And I didn't believe him. And I got in a Facebook group and I watched for 6 months. People go over and over and over and protect 5, 10 families a week, 5, 10 families a week. And finally I said, you know, you just build up enough anxiety with this either is the biggest scam ever, or I'm just need to figure it out. And I went and reached out to him. I got a batch of leads. The first 9 appointments I didn't protect because I was brand new, didn't know what I was doing. Protected my 10th and you know, my first month I protected 14, second month 8 because I went on vacation, and then which you don't do once you're brand new. And by my 3rd month, I protected 31 families and never looked back. And got a fever for recruiting and teaching people what I'd learned. And you know, fast forward 4.5 or so years, 5 years, and we built something pretty remarkable with you, Riyadh, Eric, all the great leadership. Spencer, holy cow, good for him. Still not. I'm beyond proud to see his name up there. So. But it's I'm just a guy who loves his wife and kids, who found an industry that allowed me to go out there and make an income that would allow me to protect them the way, take care of them the way I dreamt about. So there's the short-ish open.
Well, Grady, that's phenomenal. And again, he doesn't give himself enough credit, guys, of what he's been able to accomplish here. But Grady, on another note, I just got a text message. It says, I will drive to convention 12 hours if Grady is getting me a floor seat.
Done. Check. Who?
Done. Check it. On the list.
Done. You're in. I'll even buy you lunch too. How about that?
Oh my goodness.
And lunches.
Guys, and Grady, the thing about Grady, he only eats steak and lobster. So that's gonna, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But guys, Grady is truly someone awesome. And Grady, I want to, we've been doing a lot of convention prep, right? And how do we get to convention and what should we expect? And, you know, what should we do when we're there? Can you talk about, you know, what we should be doing? Like, are we going to Miami to like party it up and go to the clubs and like show up late and hang out? Like, what should we do when we're there? What are the things we should bring? And then how do we come out of this event
for sure
and have our biggest month ever and truly change our lives?
So a big thing to put around this, and I think that's where if you can go, it's like the big thing about success in anything, whether it's marriage, whether it's parenting, whether it's business, whether it's selling insurance, is creating discipline for yourself. And does going to Miami sound great if you live in Arkansas or Phoenix or Colorado or whatever? The thought and lure maybe sounds exciting, but the reality is everything costs a lot of money. So why not just go there for like the intent that you're going, which is to learn and get better, right? The main thing that I've personally built myself on and try to teach is skill growth, creates whatever you want. So if you understand that you're going to a meeting, a training with 10,000 people that are all trying to get better, and they're going to put the best people on stage trying to teach you, you're going to come out of there with a new level of faith and belief. So let's just squash the party there. But like, so here's what my advice would be is, and preparation, this is just my tips, is go with a list of challenges, right? So whether you're day 1, whether you are day 30, day 300, day 700, and you're coming back and getting reinvigorated. The reality though, is you're experiencing some challenges. And if you don't have any challenges, I'd get on the phones tomorrow and go slam some dials, go dial the phone 500 times tomorrow, get some objections, make a sale or two, and start to look for things that you can refine. And that's really what convention is. For me, it was understanding leads better, it was understanding mortgage protection, it was understanding how to overcome all of my no-shows and how to make sure I could tie people down on the phone. And when I got to convention, I got the answers from stage, and I got the answers in the corridors asking the top producers that I saw speak on stage that I just didn't quite get the magic words they said. That's your hope. That's your goal. That's your intention by going, is to get the answers so you come home that following Monday. And now it's not, now you've got a speedboat instead of a wooden life raft dinghy that you build out of some coconuts and some palm trees you tie together, right? That's really the answer, is coming home with the answers that you're trying to get. So make a list of challenges you're experiencing and seek out the answers from stage, et cetera. But I would, whether it's 5, 10 objections, leads, whatever questions you have, if you leave without those answers, you did yourself a disservice, right? So a couple more tips. Don't sit by people that talk a lot, because a lot of broke people talk a lot, right? Rich people want to listen and get knowledge so that they can be refined and they can come out of it. They understand that, like, the person on stage is put there in front of these thousands of people because they've got a message to deliver. So go there with that intention. Don't sit by people that just want to chatty and, let's just be like, hey, what's that? And did you see this? And did you hear? And it's like, hey man, hold on. Like, I'm like, the dude up there did pretty well last year. I just want to hear what he's teaching about, right? So try to focus on that, and it's okay to tell people to shush. Like, there's a lot of power in the shush, right? I'm sitting in a meeting and there's 30 rows in front of me, and the guys in front of me are cackling and giggling and slapping each other in the back. I'll be like, hey, shh. And like, they're either going to go, oh, piss off, or they're going to go, all right, you're right. I'm here for intention. So go with that. Like, it's okay to correct you. You gotta be polite about it, but like, if we can police each other, like, we're going to create a better society coming out of this. So I'd say find top producers. Anybody you see in a red jacket or someone you recognize for a video, say, hey, John, I've seen a bunch of your trainings. I'm at this point in my business. I've protected 15 families 3 months in a row. I have an agency doing 50 families a month. I'm only at 10 families protected. I've yet to sell my first policy. Give them a quick 15-second snapshot of who you are, or 7-second, and say, do you have any quick tips for me? We have the most humble, caring, grateful, generous people in our entire company. They'll open up and they'll go, well, this is what I would do. This is what I do. They ask you a question or two and they'll give you a tip. Like, that's why you're going, because you don't have access to these people without going. So take advantage of that. And I would say with this sort of pre-convention knowledge is, like, go with faith, shed all your skepticism, shed all your doubt, shed all your worry, like, just leave it at home and go with faith that when you get there, you're going to get the answers you need, because this is the best training we have. We don't have another secret training that you do have to pay for, or another secret one that you've got to you got to walk on hot coals to get through the secret door. And then you got to know the secret handshake. And then you got to drink Kool-Aid to get into the secret room where we actually tell you the real answers. This is it. We lay it all out on stage. Like, that's one of the biggest messages we've given since day one of our company, is that all our stuff's public. Why? Because if someone in Bob's Insurance Co. and more of health insurance in Northern Omaha, that dude gets better by learning some of our strong positive closes and our 7:15 or 7:45 appointment structure, and he doesn't want to join us, well, I hope Bob does better and can buy better feed for his cows and lives a better life, right? Or maybe he goes, you know what? Those FFLers seem to be doing pretty well. I'd like to join them. All is the same. So this is the best we have. Go with faith. Now, after convention, this is something that will happen sometimes when you don't have, like, if you have a process that's working, be proud of the process you have that's working, but come for some answers, right? Don't come home and change everything you do, because that will just create stress, because when you don't follow through and change everything that you're trying to change, you're then going to have guilt for not trying to change everything you try to change. Come with 3 to 5 things that you're trying to change, whether it's your schedule, whether it's your lead flow, whether it's the tools you use, whether it's the platforms you're recruiting on, whether it's, timing, what the things you do within your day. Like that's really the thing for me that I try to gain from elite people is what are you doing with your time that's different than me? We all got 24 hours in a day. Yes, skills I know will develop, but what are you using your time more for? Am I getting on the phone at 9:30, taking a lunch at 11:30, and then, off the phones by 4:30 and just saying, rough day? Or am I treating it like some of these top people that are on the phones at 7:30, warming up, calling their East Coast leads, calling their Hawaii leads late, et cetera? Like these are the things you're going with. So don't change everything, but look for 3 to 5 things to come. I would say implement fast. That's something like, don't belabor it. If you heard a tip, you heard word tracks, you heard something, come home and use it day one. And then use what you learn, nothing worse than wasted talent. These are some of the most important things that I would say going to an event like this is that we don't hold back. There is no one better. And the reality though, is you're going to come out of this a changed person and a changed for the better. I mean, my first convention, drop a 1 in the comments below if this is your first convention you're attending. Because for me, I went to my first convention and I knew nobody. I knew Andrew Taylor, who recruited me, and nobody. And at the time, Andrew Taylor was the number 2 guy in the company, kind of busy. And really, I'd protected 14 families. So in the eyes of, and not that you're a nobody, but I was a nobody in the eyes of MFL. And I went there and I just made it my mission that I spent the money, I swiped the card, the wife's at home, the kids are at home, the credit cards aren't paid, and the rent is due, and the car payments are due. And this is what I need. If the up and ups and the top people are saying, you're going to learn what you need to learn. I went there and I learned every single thing I needed to learn. And I came home from that convention and wrote 31 families and never looked back, never wrote less than that in my entire career in the field. And that's what you should look forward to, is going and gaining the things, because that's our biggest hope, is that you can change your life. The 5% we make by teaching you how to do all this is not what we're in this for. We're in this for changing lives and creating leaders and creating people that are now independent business owners that look back and go, you know what? That was incredible. That truly did it for me. So there's some things that I'd talk about for convention.
Absolutely insane. Okay, Grady, I want to switch gears a little bit. And that's all true, guys. My first convention. And I think also too, it's almost like so relatable when you get there, right? Like Grady, my first convention that I went to, I was like, okay, I'm going to get there. And like all these people are going to be way bigger than me, way better than me. And it was like, not to say that they weren't great, but I was like, dude, if Grady can do it, like, I was like, dude, this guy's been like he was broke before he started. Like he was struggling with his wife.
Broke. Broke.
It wasn't like you get there and you're like, oh my goodness, none of these people had money. Like none of these were like, oh, guys, I've been in insurance for 45 years. And like, this is crazy. Like, you're like, we're all just figuring it out. And like, if they could do it, I was like, oh my goodness, like I can totally do this. So it's also just like a belief level thing too. So I'm super excited. But Grady, I want to switch gears. We talked a lot about convention. The whole team's going to be there. We're fired up. I had put on the promotional thing because I thought this was good. We do have quite a few agents that have come on. They're brand new. First dial date might have been today. Maybe they're getting ready to dial the phones on Thursday or next Monday after convention. And I want to go back to the very beginning of like right when you were a brand new agent. What are like 3 things or 5 things, whatever you can come up with, that like your top advice for like brand new agents getting into the field?
For sure. So 1, I just checked, I saw the 1s. I'm so excited for you because it is truly just last 15 seconds on convention. Like where you are in your life right now is this new excited person who's found this thing that they're excited about. And whether you've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a spouse or friends or colleagues or anybody in your life who you're trying to like share this new excitement with, they don't get it. Right? Like they just don't get it. They haven't watched the videos you're on. They haven't been to calls on. They haven't seen people make sales all day. They haven't learned about leads. They just don't get it. Right? And that's okay. Like we're not trying to make everybody get it. We're brand new. We're just trying to figure it out for ourselves. We're trying to get it. But when you go to convention and you're in a room with everybody that gets it, it's a pretty it's a remarkable experience. So I'm just very excited for you guys. Again, there's no fire coals, there's no Kool-Aid, there's just people teaching how to sell insurance. But it's pretty amazing to be around other people that are like, okay, we buy leads and we protect families, et cetera. So I'm excited for you guys. So as for new agents, and this is what you know, lucky for us, I saw the post earlier, so I worked on some notes and I have some things that I think would be relevant for new agents. And so if you're a one, great. If you're a brand new agent, less than 30 days, these are just some advice and tips and some mindset. And I'm far bigger on mindset because I was an absolute mindset mess before I found personal development, before I found entrepreneurship, before I found a woman who would believe in me and tolerate me long enough to let me seek out another entrepreneurship opportunity that I would drag us along. And, you know, one more at the time, honey, we got to swipe that card for them protein powders or whatever. I try to figure out ways, and that's okay. I tried it. It ended up working out. And that's my advice to any of you that are trying to figure it out. Like, this should be it. If you commit the effort, you've committed to other things and it didn't work, but you're a committer and you're a hard worker. Like, I can't make guarantees or promises or any of that stuff. But the reality is that we're not going to do 800 million in commissions this year because people don't do well here. Just there we go. We'll use those accurate numbers. So 5 tips for new agents: prepare to be tested. And that's things that I think that I need you to like lay into that. Like, you have to understand that to gain what you want and what you dream about, and the Instagram posts you see and the YouTube videos of, you know, celebrities' lives or whatever, successful people and things they've accomplished, they've been tested and tested and tested and pushed through. And stress creates strength. That's right. And Riyadh is a bodybuilder by trade and sells insurance on the side. Stress creates strength. And that's the reality, though, is like, as you get stressed and as you push through, and as a client, or you call 7 leads and none of them answer, and then the 8th answers and goes, I didn't fill that out. And you go, what's going on here? Well, you just got to call that 9th one because they've been waiting all day for you to call them and they're ready to book or probably buy on the phone. And it's that stress and being tested that puts you in a position where you can truly start to create something. Like, if you work in a job or have a career where you clock in at 9 and you're done at 5 and your boss doesn't bother you after 5:01, that's a very structured environment to be in, where there's not much asked of you, and which means there's not much given to you. And if you want to live in a world and and create your own identity and create your own empire where you can cast out as much as you want and make as much as you want and become the vision that you have for yourself and your family, you're going to be tested. Now, the good news for you, spoiler alert, you're surrounded by other people that have been tested, and we have all the cheat codes. We have all the answers. We have that little piece of paper that you would like write all the answers, and you try to like put it between your fingers, and then you'd open it up, and then you'd look at it, and then you close it back up, and then you put it behind. Marissa knows what I'm talking about. She got that long hair. She's hiding answers in her hair for a sense. Exactly. So that's something. Prepare to be tested, but embrace it. It's number 2. Understand your problems are not unique to you. I need you to understand that your problems are not unique to you. Rebuttals that you hear, objections you get from clients, batches of leads, delays with carriers, confusion on new software, being overwhelmed, it's not unique to you. But the people that have succeeded, the people with the red jackets, people with big agencies, the people that sell more insurance than you could possibly believe they do in a week, that most people don't do in a year, have been tested, and they've overcome these problems and adversities. And if that's what you want for you, then just keep walking down this path with us. Your problems are not unique to you. But here's the answers. Call the carriers. If you haven't called the carriers, call your manager. After you talk to your manager, you'll probably get the answers, or they'll direct you back to the carriers or to corporate or to someone to seek out the answers. And you just need to live in a world as a new agent of someone that goes, I'm fascinated by this new process, not I'm frustrated by this new process, right? My daughter talks to me a certain way sometimes, and it's like a little challenging. It's like, why are you doing that, daddy? And I'm just like, hey, 10-year-old, why don't we just calm down? Instead of being so challenging, why don't you be more curious? Like, and she goes, you're right, I'm sorry. And I'm like, why did you do that? Instead of, what are you doing there? And I'm like, she's got this little 10-year-old hip attitude. And I'm like, let's just talk with like curiosity instead of challenging. And I'm like, you can challenge me all you want once we have if we're talking about something. And above and beyond, like, this isn't about parenting, but this is more about just how my advice is for you to approach this. Because if we have humbly 1,100 agents that issued a policy last month, we have something figured out that's working pretty well. Could we improve? Are we going to improve? Of course, and of course, and of course. But we got a pretty good track record. So that's the thing. Your problems are not unique to you. And that's what I need you to understand. Like, oh, this is so hard. Or, oh, I'm going through this. Like, okay, everyone else has gone through this. Number 3, seek mentorship daily. And that is personal development. That's personal growth, whether you're on calls like this, you're watching YouTube videos, you're reading books, Audible. There's a new one called Lit Video Books. I don't know if you've heard of this one yet. Advertise me on Facebook, $10 a month. It's a whole book compressed into a 50-minute video of the author telling you the best points of their books. And I'm like, I can do that. I'm a fan. I like that. So, but it's new knowledge, right? The big thing about books for you guys is that someone spent probably years researching things, having problems, having challenges, overcoming them, dwindled it down to notes, wrote a book, sent it to an editor, it was refined, sent it to a publisher, it was refined, and now they sell it for $9 on Amazon. So don't overlook the knowledge that you can gain from other people's experience. I'm a huge proponent of just like, when I have downtime, I try to learn. And that's one of the things that has given me a lot of clarity in business and a lot of things that I can add on and a new way to communicate that differentiates yourself. That's a big thing about leadership too, is when you communicate the same message, but said differently, now they go, oh, I've never heard it said that way. Okay. So seek mentorship daily, but the best mentorship you can give is personal mentorship, which is experience. Dialing the phone, trying to make one-call closes, booking appointments, going in person, trying to sell insurance, selling, not selling, and gaining reflection on it. What I said, what I didn't say, what could I say better? And that's the most important thing, is why, like, coming up to convention, we always challenge everyone to go as hard as they can for their own personal growth. Because if you ran 100 appointments over the past 30 days, going to convention on Wednesday, when you start to hear these people talk, you go, I went through that and I had that experience, and that's happened to me. And I drove to Buckeye at 8:30 at night and no one was there. And so I understand how to do my tie down appointments better. And I got to the end to try to push through this $386 a month HMS CBO, and they were balking at it. So I pivoted down to an accidental. I learned that at convention. Like, there's things that you will learn through experience that you can't gain without doing it. So that's a big part of it. So seek mentorship. One of my favorite lines is from Jordan Lowry. He says, you only have to buy leads once. This is tip number 4. You only got to buy leads once, and then you're playing with house money. He's a big gambler. So, but it's a good analogy, right? So, but it's, you're investing in your business. And that's the big differentiation from here. As you think about a restaurant, right? Big, busy corner in a big, busy city. Guy spends bunch of money to lease out a restaurant, bunch of money to outfit the restaurant, bunch of money to buy food for the restaurant, and then sits there twiddling his thumbs, waiting for people to walk in, right? It's a tough deal, right? Or what you do is you put a billboard sign above the restaurant with a finger pointing down saying free appetizer if you mention this big finger. And you hire a guy in a chicken suit. He's out there spinning signs on the corner that says, free appetizer, you mentioned the guy in the chicken suit. You do Facebook ads for the surrounding 3 miles. You drop flyers on the cars in the parking lot in the neighborhood. Like, those are all marketing expenses for that restaurant. Our marketing expenses are leads. That's our marketing expense. We buy leads and invest in warm, interested people that fill out a request online, called in a phone number, filled out a card, mailed it in. 70% off right now. Aged mortgage mailers. Oh my God, like unbelievable lead quality right there. So that's what you have to understand though. But if you can put yourself in a position to invest in the business and then reap the ROI from it, and then be a business owner to structure yourself on what I make, I take a 20%, reinvest it in more leads, protect the families, reinvest it in more leads. Like, you have to buy it once, but you can't buy 13 leads to start, because it's pretty tough to try to, you're setting yourself up for stress, which does create strength. Ask Riyadh, but also at the same time, I just loving on Riyadh, man. I'm excited. He's gonna be on stage at convention. I am jacked, bro. Like, this is gonna be exciting. But you only have to buy leads once. That's an important thing to understand for a new agent, but you have to buy leads because that's your marketing expense for our business. Now, if you want to do friends, family, work associates, you want to do referrals, that's fine. I ran out of Aunt Judy's and Uncle Larry's after 2 sales. So you can get 2 sales, but then you're going to have to figure a way to get more clients. So number 5 and last point is, the only way to fail is to quit. That's it. Just keep learning. This is a business. Whether or not you fall in love with insurance, like we love insurance, you take these skills and you go off to mortgages or real estate or network marketing or start a nail salon or start a landscaping business or whatever. Enhancing your communication skills and becoming a better communicator and a better marketer and understanding the structure of business on what we do here only puts you in a place where you can evolve as a person. And for me personally, I went from network marketing and serving restaurant tables at the mall, selling meatloaf and sushi at the mall, to like figuring out a way that if I just kept getting good at talking to people and kept getting good at talking to people, people would be interested in what I had to say. And then I buy interested clients and go protect them. And now We live a different life now. And that's only because I endured so much stress and so much pressure and so much pain that like the pendulum swung in the right direction. That's my hope for you. If you're here, half a toe in, you bought half a batch of leads, you made half a dial, expect to get, half a buck, return. Like, but that's the thing. If you go put in and go full force and do what the people here who are having success are doing, it's a path, right? It's a path. So that's my hope. You guys, you can do this. And I can't wait to see you all in Florida. I'm looking forward to Wednesday night. And thank you, Marissa, for having me on. Anything else I'd love to talk about, but that was my 5 points.
Grady, that was fantastic. Also, I love that you prepare because you make it like so easy to take notes. Like I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was going to try to throw you off, but he looked at the graphic earlier to know what I was going to ask him. So he always does that. So Grady, I only have one more question. That was phenomenal. And I love how you just said the only way to fail is to quit. Like we all have the same bad days, guys. The only people are like, oh my God, how'd you get so successful? I'm like, I just didn't quit. Like Grady just didn't quit, but he had guys that he started with that they had the same bad days and they quit. And that's why Grady's still here, right? That's it. Like, that's it. We have the same leads. We have the same, phone scripts, like everything. Everything is the same. We have the same comp. Everyone has access to so many awesome things. Yeah. But Grady, I do have a question because I think also we continue to get better and we continue to have even more opportunity. Like when I started, we didn't even quite have instant internet leads. And when you started, I don't even know what the lead situation is because you're like obviously a lot older. No, I'm just kidding. But you were here, a couple years before me. So for new agents that are just starting, like, do you think this is the opportunity better now, even more than when we started?
And I mean, the loaded answer is yes, but the real answer is also yes. Because when I first started, there were I had to order Facebook leads that took 2 weeks to come in because we had one guy for the company doing it. And then to get mortgage leads, you had to wait 4 to 6 weeks for your first order to come in. And that was it. And then they had you go to Age Lead Store and spend $0.25 a lead on leads that you didn't even know where they came from, which was a recommend. There was nothing. And now we have a CRM where you can put in real-time lead orders. We have instant internet leads. We have new internet life leads. We have aged final expense mailers. We have aged mortgage mailers, YouTube leads, instant leads of beneficiary, all the Facebook vendors. Guys, this is an interesting thing. There's 100 million people probably between the ages of 18 and are we still go to 84 now? What is that going to go to 89?
89.
So it's probably 120 million people. They go from 18 to 89. This is the middle American market that we can service. Sean always has a great line. He says, once you start making a little bit of money, everyone wants to take care of you. We service middle America. Why? Because their advisor is Nancy at HR or an accidental policy at the bank. And they don't know what to do. They don't have a broker of someone that's got 5, 10 carriers with 3, 4 products per carrier who can look at their situation, analyze their medications, analyze their expenses, and put them in the best product for their situation. And for me, I loved the chess match or crossword puzzle and the pharmaceutical references utilizing the genies to figure. I didn't even have genies. I had cheat sheets and Trey Honeycutt. Now we make it too easy. And I would just advise you again, like I said, the only way to fail is to quit, but don't look at this opportunity and go, you know what, I'll give it to go at it. Building up a book of clients, building up a book of whole life policies and earning renewals. When those renewals hit on the 1st of every month, it's like Yahtzee, or bingo. It's slot machine coming in. The renewals are amazing. Renewals are amazing. We got producer bonuses here. You got VP bonuses. You got all kinds of things that you can do, but our lead program is unbelievable. Because what I did, I glossed over it. I did network marketing before I started here, which is where you harass every single person you ever knew, and their friends and relatives, and try to get them to buy your liquid nutritional supplement so that they can better their life and become an entrepreneur. And I burned the list of every single person I knew trying to hustle it. And I did okay and made a couple pennies here and there. But when I found this, I couldn't believe the reality that I swipe my credit card and they send me 30 people that are interested in having a conversation. Marissa, that is unprecedented in any business, the fact that we have leads. And if you've ever worked any sales organization, leads are the lifeblood of it. And the fact that FFL has created a model with now integrity, which goes, hey, how do we get the best quality leads, which are just Americans that are looking for coverage, looking for answers, people looking for answers. I'm confused. I need someone to help me get my questions answered. Happy to help you out, Bob and Mary. My name's Grady. Nice to meet you. What is it that's going on in your life? What is your income? What is your health? Okay, let's look at a few different carrier options. Here's what we have for you. The next step is we need to submit a request for coverage, press hard 3 copies. Like it's a very fun, fulfilling business model we have. So if you're getting started with us, embrace it, lean in. This is a unprecedented model, and all the way, gratitude up to Sean for having the vision to create something that had never been created before. So.
Wow.
It's
the best ever.
Legit. It's the real deal. I'm excited for you guys to experience convention. That's really because it's, you're gonna, dude, my first convention, I cried, not in the bathroom by myself, but you're hearing people speaking and telling how their life has changed. And you're like, I just started, but I can and you're just like, you've been doing this for 3 years and you now have a team that's doing $1 million a month and you sold this much and you missed all these things, but now you get to coach Little League because you built a business. I'm like this for me was everything I ever dreamed of, right? I dreamed of being able to help people. I dreamed of being able to communicate. My wife tells me I have a word quota and I need to hit it every day. So I get to talk a lot with this business, which is great. But for you, if you like helping people, you like making money, and you like teaching people how to make money, and you like serving families in a great environment that's only going to make you better, welcome home. That's it. Welcome home.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I remember coming to the business and see what Grady's doing and being like, I could never do that. And now look
at you now, dude, you're this is a show.
We are where you were at. And it's it's so weird because you're like, I could do so much more. You know what I mean? It's, we're just getting started. So I'm super excited. So again, Grady, thank you so much. This has been absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, looked up to you since day one. We're excited to see you at convention, guys. Grady's really busy. So Grady, again, we're just honored and humbled. And, if you're on the West Coast, guys, we have a ton of dial time left. So let's get back on the phones. Let's crush it. And I will see you all at our awards ceremony on Wednesday and convention the next 3 days. So thanks, guys. Have a good night.